Waiting for the transfer from the Seymour Hotel in the Chelsea Hotel, Tom Waits sits grumbling in the lobby. There's some complications about checking out. He looks at me with disinterest.
What's this for? The college paper? Some high school rag? I talk to people who never see this stuff anyway.
Compared to tracking down Waits for an interview, Ponce de Leon's quest for the fountains seems like a mass transit express line.
Yeah, well, I've been sort of inaccessible lately.
Waits walks over to the desk and turns in his room key. The clerk takes it from him.
53A, you must be with the Waits party. I am the Waits party. Laurel and Hardy behind the desk there. This place is all screwed up.
A kid in his early 20s walks by, wearing a large fedora.
What's that, a pimp?
He remains huddled on the bench, with a pile of suits draped over his arm, and a canvas suitcase resting at his feet. Paul Bruno, the road manager, gives us the okay from the street. Our cab awaits. On the ride to the Chelsea, Waits sits sandwiched in the middle of the back seat, like an embryo awaiting birth. He talks with Bruno about the previous night's show and general mishaps associated with touring.
I bet this all seems pretty exciting and interesting to you, huh?
It's a lot less romantic than people think, I reply. It takes too much wear and tear on you.
Yeah, well, it beats wages.
Waite's mood softens after we arrive at the Chelsea Hotel. His rebirth occurs. He is known and comfortable here.
Oh, you got new carpets in the lobby. Yeah, Tom, we knew you were coming. The place never changes. One of the elevators never works. I forget which one. Well, I'd like to get something to eat. I'm starving.
We leave the Chelsea and cross 23rd Street to a pizzeria. Waits orders us a few slices. None of the people in the near-empty eatery recognize him. We settle down into a booth.
So what do you want to know? You got too much anxiety out here. Too many problems, too many things coming up. You don't have time to relax, unwind ever. I don't get home much. I get a little homesick. I don't read much out here. I read the sports page and the menu, and that's about it.
Being on the road is obviously not one of Tom Waits' favorite pastimes. Neither is giving interviews, but he survives these incidental trivialities. However, there was a time when he didn't figure so prominently.
It's taken me a long time to be able to headline.
Now, however, Waits has developed his own following and is transcending the status of a cult figure. The stage fright of those days has turned into a feeling of excitement about performing. But he confesses, there are times when he doesn't enjoy playing live.
They're armed and dangerous. It's cruel and unusual punishment, but what are you going to do? Any performing experience is important. I opened for Frank and the Mothers. I hated it some nights. It's just that I have a little difficulty warming up a crowd. That's the whole secret of being an entertainer. You're sick and you're tired and you're beat and you're pissed. And the last thing in the world you want to do is go on stage and entertain, but you have to go out and smile, and kick it in the side. So I'm getting to the point where I can smile and enjoy myself even when I don't want to.
I ask if anyone has influenced his live performing style.
Yeah, Mom's Mabley and Rod Serling.
Waits' current tour corresponds with the release of his latest record, Blue Valentine. I point out that he plays less piano and more guitar than on his previous albums.
I ain't no great guitar player. I ain't no great piano player. Basically, I'm a composer. I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to show off my chops. I'm presenting the tunes themselves in the best way that those tunes can be handled. I got some things on the record that I enjoy, but I don't get to listen to it after it comes out. They ain't pushing it too hard.
I mention that he isn't heard much on the radio.
Marcel Marceau gets more airplay than I do. Helen Keller gets more airplay. Radio is so tight. It's money, 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 money. It's business, 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 business. The one thing I don't like about the music business is the music business.
However, Waits hasn't restricted himself to the music business, business, business. He makes his film debut in Sylvester Stallone's latest release, Paradise Alley. In the film, Waits plays a piano singer, appropriately named Mumbles. Originally, he was to write and perform the music for the movie.
Where evening stumbles home.
He did write and record 3 songs for the production, but Stallone sings the title track himself. Waits doesn't express any hostility toward the star.
They start out with an idea, and by the time they get done, it's something altogether different. Film is something you throw yourself into, and you have to eat your way out. It's not like a song where you can hone it and hold it in your hand.
Film seems like a medium that Waits could easily adapt his talents to. His songs have strong visual quality.
Breakfast in the eye, oh, hour I came.
I wrote a song for a film directed and written by a gentleman named Ralph Waite. It was called On the Nickel. It was about Skid Row in LA. They call it the Nickel because it's on 5th Street.
Waits has even extended his skills beyond the restrictions of just the soundtrack.
I worked a little while on a screenplay with a guy in LA. His name is Paul Hampton. It was, well, a couple of things. It was called Gordon. It was about a loser piano player in Oklahoma City who looks kind of like Elvis, but not really. It's all about his trials and tribulations, and now he ends up in a place called Lost Confidence, Nevada.
I stare at the man across the table from me speaking. He looks kind of like Elvis, but not really. However, he is not a loser piano player.
But it never came off. Those are the ones you never hear about, you know?
Although his efforts in the motion picture industry have been ill-fated, Waits continues his unique brand of musical narrative. His main concern is avoiding being too trivial or self-centered. He states that the things he writes about are not very far removed from his own experiences.
It's not vicarious or anything. It's something that I live in and around and deal with. I try to develop some kind of a social conscience to write because I'm in a position where I'm in front of a lot of people. Well, not in the proportion of maybe another artist, but I feel as though I've got a lot of people listening to me. And I don't think that it's right to just deal with your own intimate little personal traumas. It's not valid. I think it's overindulgent and maudlin and insipid when you hear a lot of artists that just deal with their own little romances. I do that, but I try to do it where it's more relatable. It's not just me and my girl. It's you and your girl and somebody you know too. So I try to make the characters not so personal where you feel embarrassed or like you know them or you couldn't relate to them.
Waits recalls one of his earlier ballads, Small Change. The track is a moving, yet hostile, bluesy tribute to the gunning down of a hood on the streets of New York. The song is based on a true incident.
Stay on 23rd Street between 7th and 8th, the Chelsea Hotel. I used to go across the street, little pizza joint, and get a slice.
That happened right here. It didn't happen on 42nd Street. I said 42nd Street because the Midwest people know 42nd Street, that's New York. Or if you say 23rd Street, that's any town. I wanted to make sure it was New York, so I was staying at the Chelsea, and it was a young black cat, geez, that's when I woke up. That stuff happens all the time, and you read about it in the papers, and it means nothing to you. It's something that you see, you read in an article, somebody killed, somebody murdered, it wasn't that. There's no blood on the newspaper. It's no ideas, nothing, it's cold, hard facts. It's like a weather report or a sportscast. You do it in front of an audience, and it's a story, and it's more effective. It makes people more, it shakes you up a little bit.
Waits is in a pleasantly talkative mood. I ask him about Burma Shave, a song story from his last album, Foreign Affairs.
Remember what Burma Shave was? Burma Shave was an old shaving cream made by Colgate, and they went out of business in maybe 59, longer than 66 they used to advertise. They used to use it as I'm going crazy, you want to come along? That kind of thing. Any place away from here, any place over there is Burma Shave. It doesn't matter where it is. It's Gridley, Marysville, Yucca City, or Rollsville, or Chico. Those little towns strung together, and one is pretty much like the next one, only it's just got a different name. I wrote all the stuff in 3 weeks for this last album. I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off.
Then he finally locks himself up to write it all down.
That's the hard part.
Tom Waits is not the only artist who cares enough to record the songs of Tom Waits. His compositions have been interpreted by other singers, including Jerry Jeff Walker, the Eagles, and Bette Midler.
The clouds are like headlines on a new front page sky.
Tears are salt water, and the moon's full and high.
But Waits isn't ecstatic about the treatment his songs receive in the hands of others.
It's usually not up to snuff. It usually doesn't blow my skirt up, but what are you going to do? Someone wants to do your song, it's flattering to an extent until you hear the version. I like Bette a lot. She's a real sweetheart. She's doing another song of mine, which I never recorded. It's called Hang On to My Rainbow Sleeve. It's a little like a cabaret torch song.
There were plans of Waits' Midler double bill to tour this time, but it fell through.
It would be hard to open the show for her, though. She's too strong on stage.
I asked Waits where would he be without his music. How would he make his living?
I don't know, maybe a gas station. Today's heroes are tomorrow's service station attendants.
But his popularity is on the rise, not decline. He is, however, unsure and reluctant to shoot for superstar status.
I think it's all a matter of different levels of popularity. There was a time when if you told me I was going to play a 3,900-seat auditorium, I'd say you were out of your mind.
He also fears the decline in one's artistic quality that seems to coincide with mass acceptance.
I try to become aware of that and stay abreast of it.
After a few more questions, Waits becomes restless and resorts to short, one-word answers. All right, I guess you got to get going. He hints at a smile, appreciating that I picked up on the message.
I just gotta go up and sit down.
I try to get one more question, provoke one more good stream of talk. Any comments on the I Love New York campaign? Do you plan on running for governor of California?
No, I have no plans of running for governor of California. You'll be the first to know.
We part with what I hope are good feelings. Wade slips into his trench coat and under his hat. I watch him cross 23rd Street, a man stuck with a record company that doesn't quite know how to promote him, a man who doesn't get the exposure he deserves, a man tired of touring, a little homesick, and happy to be returning to his hotel. Tom Waits disappears into the Manhattan night, but I smile with the happy assurance that he'll never have to be working in a filling station in Lost Confidence, Nevada.
You must say goodbye.